Welcome to the show, dear friends. Creative Universe Checkpoint Earth presents Summer Show. Union news, not meant to be together, giving your union disappointment meaning. The real twin flame work happens on the inside and then it will guaranteed manifest outside. In this series of lives, I share about what that means for my union consciousness process to inspire you to find yours. It serves as the source for your almost daily twin flame news. Today on the show, we have not meant to be together, giving your union disappointment meaning. Because wah, wah, wah. You're not meant to be together. Because I had such a disappointing experience. Okay. So let's get that out of the way. I guess I thought this is a really interesting title because it speaks to what so many people think and do and live, on the journey, on the twin flame journey. But actually, it's also a little bit with a wink, because I guess that let's get it out of the way that I take this seriously. I don't. You are meant to be together, all right. But what to do then with these disappointing experiences that you have? And what is with this thing that people believe that, like, oh, maybe we're not meant to be together. But, maybe twin flames are not meant to be together in general. Anyway, so I hope you can laugh with me. I just recognize, like, oh yeah, that's interesting. I do that too. I step away from believing that it's possible, and I'm just like lost in all these dramas and disappointments and negative pools of sadness and depression, and just see that for what it is, because it's not the real you. The real you is the twin flame of your twin flame. Meant to be together because you are already together. So let's talk about that. And today, I'd love to know how you are doing in your journey with your twin flame desire or twin flame relationship or twin flame having already met them or twin flame hoping to meet them. And write like a sentence or two or something about it in the not the description, but in like the reaction box below, So that would be very nice. I'm just really wondering who you are. So yeah, let me know a little bit, or just say hi, or just put your favorite color heart as a reaction underneath so that I know that you saw it with that color heart. And let's move on to get a little bit in the mood, of this union consciousness, which is important for twin flames because it's their basis. It's just their foundation on which they can, genuinely come together and thrive. This union consciousness that we're gonna feel out a little bit in the first part of the live, and then later on I will get back to the original question. So let's see what the twin flame union consciousness wisdom of the day is, and I found this one for you. Twin flame union is an identity question. Are you the body, emotions, mentality? Or are you the relationship with the divine? Twin flame union is an identity question. Are you the body, emotions, mentality, or are you the relationship with the divine? Which one is it? Which one do you identify with? In reality, not as a hope, belief, but what you see yourself doing and acting and being all day long. every day. What you are identifying with when you go to sleep and you wake up, and when you eat and when you don't eat. What is it that you see yourself doing? Are you identifying with the body, emotions, or the mental space? And this union consciousness wisdom actually presents these three options as like one realm, one thing. Because if I feel my body, then I also am aware of emotions that are some sort of like a present in it. I can feel them in my bodily awareness. And my thoughts, my mentality, my mental awareness is like also connected closely with that. Because if I have a depressed mentality, then I will feel slow and sluggish in my emotions, and my body will be slow too and want to sleep. But if my mentality is like positive and like, I'm in a sunny holiday and I have all the time in the world, my mentality will be different. My body will feel different, and my emotions will be much more joyful and happy. So these are intimately interconnected, isn't it? There is so much literature about this too, and all the sciences of even like healing sciences of the body and whatnot, they all go in the direction of like, oh, people are waking up in every field of science and field of life that like, oh, everything is interconnected. And that's also logic because they're all in the same realm. They're in the same realm. They're in the realm of the world, the persons, the psychology, the realm of the world. Yeah, social world, societal world, all of that. The universe, in a sense, like the material universe, like the sky and the stars and the planets and whatnot, and the space in between them. That's also the material realm, the psychological realm, the realm with like that we can touch and feel and see and taste and whatnot. So that's one realm. And everything in this one realm is interconnected, because there is also another realm, if you will, another option. And that's, I'm actually, you might realize that. You might wake up to that. I'm actually relating with the divine. That's what I am. And that's what happens to twin flames. If you really closely listen to what that is in your heart, to that love that is felt by you in that connection and in that desire, then you feel that it is about a divine something, a divine love. And that you are already in relationship with it. And that you, in that sense, have like another identity almost there. It's like another realm. And often it has not much to do with like, oh, how I grew up in the physical world and the way we were thinking as children and educated at school and the emotions that we had that belonged to that. It's like such a different world. So pure. So divinely loving. Where there's like only God and a twin flame. But then it can be like as if the world doesn't exist. And that's a problem too. But I mean, it is good to know like, oh, which one am I going to identify with? That is a moment of like choice, right? But then also a new problem comes up in this like, oh, but you know, maybe I'm gonna choose like I'm the relationship with God and my twin flame. Okay, fine. Apparently that's what I am. You just told me, Petra. Okay. But now what? Now, didn't we just reason ourselves into a new corner where it's only God and the twin flame, but there's no embodiment, there's no living it in the world, there's no emotions, there's no living together with them in a house and stuff. And that's not true. Because if you place your identity in being the child of God that you truly are, together with your twin flame in intimate relationship with God, you still live in the world and have a body and walk around and do things. Apparently, or you're dead, which could also be a possibility. And then that whole possibility has fallen away for at least for the time being, right? Which is fine as well. But then you wouldn't see me on the internet. So you see, so it's such an interesting moment of discernment when you start to see like, oh, but if I truly step fully into this opportunity, well, it is an opportunity, possibility, that this is my identity, my full identity, nothing else and nothing more, nothing less. I am the relationship with God and my true twin flame. And that's like some sort of one healthy triangulation sort of situation with my twin flame and with God, like a triangulation situation that has nothing to do with triangulation, how that word is usually meant with like, that's like a psychological, so in the realm of mental, emotional, and body, psychological manipulation technique, right? Look up something about that. That can be insight giving, but it's just insight giving in the psychological realm. And what I meant is, so you're just completely choosing for this healthy, spiritually healthy triangulation situation with God and the twin flame. And then when you fully stepped into that, and like your last toe is like has let go of that earth there, and you stepped completely into that option, then you will find that you still walk around in a body, except when you're dead, but you're not at this moment. And you still do things, and you still feel things, etc. And you speak, and you meet your twin flame, and you live together forever after, but then happy under one roof and whatnot, or whatever fits you best. You build this family, and you create this mission, and you build this business to support you in that. And you create community by attraction, and you share the mission, like an oil stain over the earth, right? And that's still going to be your experience of living in the world and having all these things, the body, the emotions, and the mentality. But now you don't necessarily believe in that anymore. You believe in being the relationship with the divine and the twin flame. And that's how it also becomes embodied. That's how it becomes embodied. That's where it becomes embodied in a healthy way, in a right way, in a one and only right way, where it is harmonious and peaceful and joyful, how it's meant to be. That's how it's meant to be lived. Otherwise, you keep on being in running and chasing and in the realm of psychology, on the world. In other words, the realm of the body, emotions, and mentality. So choose to have the right identity. That's what makes your twin flame journey come to a successful end. Instead of the end of like, oh, maybe we're not meant to be together. Maybe twin flames are not meant to be together. Because, well, so that points to that you didn't make that choice yet to choose for the right kind of identity that you have. And that points to that you still choose to be the body, emotions, mentality. That's when you get that situation of like, I guess we're not meant to be together because I have such a disappointing experience in whatever form. Yeah. Yeah. So interesting, isn't it? Wow. Well, that was a great, great, great lesson, I think, for this moment. And let's move on to the next part of today's lessons, because we are going to look at ACIM, A Course in Miracles, the book, the course that is like a tome. And it leads to union consciousness. Well, guess what? Twin flames really need union consciousness to indeed have and keep. Union sounds logic. Well, it is really logic. And this is just a great invitation to make that happen, this course. And we're going to look at the lesson of the day, because one of the ways to work through that method is by doing one lesson a day for an entire year. So there are 365 lessons. And today we have lesson 203, and that is a review lesson of 183. And it sounds like this. I'm not a body. I'm free. For I am still as God created me. I call upon God's name and on my own. The name of God is my deliverance from every thought of evil and of sin, because it is my own as well as His. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And although I always publish the complete lesson and text and the source links in my Patreon, and you can become a supporting member of my Patreon by going to the link that is in the description box below and in the pinned comment below, you'd be very welcome. And I just share lots of more value there. And among others, I pick every month a deal for you out of the options of my school, coaching options, reading options, and I make it extra special for you. I mean, extra cheap for you, right? So that's one of the ways in which Patreons get loads of value back. It will be there, but I have to say that this time around, I mean, not only ACIM, but show notes of the entire show will be found there always. Right after the show, I will publish them there. But this time, this was the whole lesson. That was it. The whole ACIM lesson was read by me already. Isn't that fun? That was a short one. It's a review lesson, and it's just more like a poem, giving you something to chew on, such as I'm not a body, I'm free. And today we're just calling upon the name of God. And also the words of evil and sin are being mentioned. And not because this course or a union consciousness or twin flames or even me believe in evil and sins and, you're sinful, or that's not why these words are in there, They are there because we all have a sense of what they mean, and then they try to say something with using these words that are well-known words, and we actually do believe in these kinds of things in our societies, if you think that you do or not. And often we have pretty much like an old-fashioned mentality somewhere in our head. We're not so progressive as we think at all, and we think very many strange old-fashioned and dark thoughts all the time, and we're not even aware of them, and this is one of the ways that the book actually works with what is actually going on in your mind, and the meanings, the cultural meanings that are nevertheless in your mind, even though you think that you don't believe in them or something. You actually do, because you're part of these egregores of the culture in which they play a role. So you somehow have been infiltrated by these meanings, by these words, nevertheless. And that's why it's mentioned, so that we can get rid of that. I'm not kidding you. So that's why it sometimes uses these kinds of words. And they're also really like religious words often in discourse. And that's also because that has been such a huge force that played a role in so many generations of which you are now the outcome for this time. And all this meaning that was pumped into religious concepts is really, they really put it into you as well. So if you like that or not, and they need to be addressed, because they form a certain meta like grid of thinking that needs to be addressed, so that you can open that to let the divine light in, and you can really live that divine light. That's why it uses these kinds of concepts, and to open up places in you and in your heart that otherwise wouldn't be able to be addressed if they didn't use these kinds of words. So deliverance from every thought of evil and of sin. And the name of God is that deliverance. But your name and God's name are the same. That's also being said. So this actually points to the same thing as the twin flame union consciousness wisdom of the day, because it's a matter of your identity. So your name is your identity, is what you believe yourself to be. You listen to that, right? So you believe yourself to be that. So, and then it is said, then it says, in ACIM, it says you are having the same name as what it means to call on God's name. It's the same. So yeah, you have that divine spark in you. That is God, because you are God's child. And when you call upon that, you just call forward out of yourself the truth of your identity. See how they're actually just really the same, these two entrances that we have today. And the truth of yourself in ACIM is also that I'm not a body, and I'm actually a free, invisible spirit. That is the God spark itself. For I'm still as God created me, created in the image and likeness of God, as the Bible says, and you are. And that's not the Bible's fault, or the Bible's I don't know what, or that's just, because that's the truth. And it doesn't matter what kind of words you give that, if you call it God or source or energy or the universe or divine mother, it really doesn't matter. It's just where you come from. And these kinds of words are just a way of speaking about that. I'm still as God created me. And that's true, because you are a twin flame, and God, the Father Mother, creates a Father Mother as a child under them, a child male and a child female, that later grow into being a Father Mother, right? And guess what that is? That's your union. Ta-da. So that's what you are. And you are still as God created you. You can call upon that name, which you could also say, my name is Union. So I'm the union between my twin flame and me. And then you can also say, I am the union, in the sense that the word union means relationship with the divine. I am the relationship with the divine. I am the relationship with my twin flame and the divine. Same thing as like that sane triangulation almost, right? So yeah, that's what you are. And making that come true choosing that. That's what twin flames do for a successful relationship. So there's just like a whole bunch of talk to just bring you in the right mind space in which you can just have that beautiful relationship with the twin flame, with the romance and with the everything that you want. But there's this shift that needs to be made, and then it can be effortless. So that's the work to make that shift. And let's go to a segment of my own books, because I'm an author too, and I'm not the author of the A Course in Miracles book, but I wrote my own material alongside the journey that I walked. And at a certain point when I walked my journey in this lifetime, I remember many more lifetimes at this point, and also what my twin flame did in that. Very interesting. We'll talk about that more later. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. So I actually wanted to... Okay. I wanted to make a note about that, and I did that now. That's interesting. During my episode, that wasn't meant to be, but I did it anyway. So I didn't mean to do that, but I hope to make another episode soon about where I will sort of channel me and my twin flames message from a past lifetime. How interesting is that? Because I also did like channeling videos, what we have to say in like the core of our soul, which is like connected to the planet Arcturus, which is like a star magic atmosphere where our soul core feels at home, which is a way to speak about spirit that some people are well known to. And that's really sort of the place in that sort of way of speaking about it that we have. But I just wanted to make a video about what is our message from like an incarnated lifetime on Earth that I remember, like our last one that I remember to be our last one until this one that you're seeing now. So, and that lifetime was, I mean, I was famous and he as well, actually. So interesting. I was just this esoteric teacher, right? And he as well. So yeah, and guess what I do this time? I do the same thing. Yeah. And he also does the same thing every lifetime. So we just do the same thing every time. Every freaking time the same. Anyway, I was just like, oh, I need to make that note. So I made that note now because I forgot it before this episode of life started. Yeah, I think that would be cool, to look into that. Anyway, so around the time when I consciously, better than earlier, remembered that lifetime, it was around 2019, and I had just gotten the complete twin flame initiation from the Christed Masters too. And then I was speaking to a Christ Master that was about to come to Earth right now in the heart. And she gave me more downloads about the spiritual process, twin flames, etc. And I sort of channeled her a couple times, and this is one such a phrase out of that time. From my book, 2 years after the opening, she says, the Christ Master, at that time not yet on Earth, right now she is, 2 years after the opening of the school by initiation of the leader, 2 years before I made this channeling, sort of the school energetically opened up that I was about to act in. The time has come for the opening of the secrets of the soul. The soul is the place where you take personal responsibility for how you hear source and how much you let that wisdom in your cells and influence your actions. This is where your ethics are born in your way of doing. This is just a direct quote from her. One cannot deny one's soul, or it would cost you your sovereignty and you would blend into the background of your circumstances, be they holy or profane. You would not exist really and could not share your value with others around you. Therefore, the soul is the key, really. This is the simplest way of giving you the secret. Yeah. So you're not a body, you're free, you're spirit, right? You're not a body, you're spirit. Anyway, back to the channeling, to the quote. Instead, where the air is thick with value in the soul, one can build lasting structures that serve your highest soul purpose and that of all. The school I am the patron of is for the empowerment of the soul, so you can play your unique role that contributes to all. This is how you are all of that you can be for all. Accepting your descent is a great power in this endeavor. Descent can mean many things: your parents, your soul family, your past lives, your teacher. These are just some examples of what that might be. Your spiritual lineage, your tradition. When one can accept one's roots, growth can happen. Deep relaxation of the resistance to what you are is needed. No matter what it means to do so, and no matter what will come out of the flower bud you are when it has gotten sunlight enough to bloom, being what you truly are is the one true source of prosperity. To the highest of the highest beings, this stands true. Your alignment with Source runs through your soul's identity. If you don't accept your incarnation, no ascension. This is the sixth initiation, is possible. No ascension, that is the sixth initiation, is possible. And even after ascension, you will live in and with your incarnation as your dense body is one with the whole of all your bodies. Losing it only calls forth a new one. It is almost time for me to have one too. Well, that was at that moment, in 2019. So don't think a body is a low vehicle, for in truth, it is the highest. I am the Maitreya. I am the light as your intimate friend, which is Maitreya in Sanskrit. I am that for you. Find the friend inside yourself and you will find me there. I am compassion alive and you are me. I come to ignite all of your inner light sources besides Maitreya also. Master JD on September 19, 2019. And then there's a little extra nudge that is also a quote, but then from me, myself, as a spiritual teacher and author in that last lifetime that I remember, that I just was reminded to make the note of, that I was going to soon, hopefully, do an online card reading for you about what our message was from that lifetime. And from, this is a quote from her, from myself, from that lifetime. It's like printed black on black on white. Okay, so this is not channel, it's just printed black on white and put as a last nudge here. Maitreya is the secret name of the fifth Buddha and the Kalki avatar of the Brahmins, the last Messiah who will come at the culmination of the great cycle. H.P. Blavatsky. So we live right now at the culmination of the great cycle. And this is talked about by very many people and spiritual teachers and whatnot. Is it like 26,000 years? Well, gosh, I typically wasn't prepared to talk about that one right now. But it's when the entire universe aligns again with where it was before. So it's like a reset of the entire clock, not only of the Earth or of the Earth relative to the Sun, not even of the Earth and all the other planets relative to the Sun and whatnot. It's just the big whole reset. That's where we live, and there's just this new last Messiah that will come at the culmination point of the great cycle, and we live there now. So, yeah. This is like the master of the Christ soul family that is most in essence about that. It's a divine feminine. Like soul in herself. And her parents are twin flames. It's a little bit of an exemption of her spirit architecture that won't be your spirit architecture. You will be most probably a divine feminine and a divine masculine in one union, you see. But there are very, 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 very rare exemptions of that. And she is that for a reason, because this is, a rare being in of itself. Yeah. And she, you could say, requested to be born like this before as well. Well, she's back. So anyway, that was a segment of my book. I almost don't know what to say about it because it's so intimate in my heart and so loving, so full of love to be our friend. That's why she incarnates, and everything that she said was so profound. I cannot repeat that really. It will just make it less, Yeah, beautiful. But it was so much also about identity. Like that's what's important. We say that all the time now, today. Almost these days. I don't know. So how does it relate to not meant to be together, giving your unique disappointment meaning? Well, this almost like pushes it out of that whole question, out of the attention span or something. Because this is so foundational, which is what you are too as a twin flame. Your union is that foundational. It is thick with value because you are spirit made in the image and likeness of the divine. And it just is. So there's really no disappointment in that experience, That is just, if you experience that, well, then you haven't woken up yet to these deep, valuable truths that she just spoke to us about. If you feel so disappointed. Because the truth is that when you feel this, what she speaks about, you will be so filled up with love and value about what this all really, really means to you, that there's really no place to experience any disappointment anymore at all. There's no place for it. You just are your union there. You relate to this wonderful, deep, valuable truth. While you sink deeper and deeper in your incarnation with your true twin flame, that will show up next to you when you choose it to be so. So let's have a look at the Oracle guidance card for today. So that is going to be from my Union and Mission card deck. It took me around 10 years to create it. And here it is. So we have card C1.3. I will read to you from the booklet on the screen in a moment. And we sort of see an eternal heart, like a matrushka, in each other, in each other, in each other. I think that's a very fitting symbol for what we just right now talked about, because experienced value is worth it to get the turning point to go to acknowledged value. And isn't that exactly what we just right now talked about? C1.3. And let us today read the mission meaning, and the union meaning you will be able to read on my Patreon in the show notes after this is over. I will put it there. The title is The Gold is Being Born. Mission. When you feel what your soul says, you get the sense of that it is eternal. It is timeless and always continues at the background of things, whether you are before, in the middle, or after your life. It is the value of your spiritual heart, which physically is the background of your heart, your upper back. This is the value that is still much uncommon in people. It is customary to keep that area closed, area of the body and the energy body. When you dare to let a spark of light in there, you will see that you become more present. You will also become more present in your belly. You feel more at ease with yourself, and that will then portray more outwardly as well. You feel you are worth to exist as a human being because you are from divine heritage. Because the universal light will always support you. Yes, you are worthy. Not as a cheap slogan, but as a lived through reality. Take the time to sit with that truth. Feel how much this is true for you. Everything that has become true, you can pass on to others. You can only take others to the phase you are in. Feeling through where you stand yourself is thus a great way to check in with your value that, when you are honest, gives information about what you can give to others, customers, students as your mission, and also what can not be passed on yet. Everyone feels the level of honesty eventually in you. So it also does not make sense to be dishonest. In the simplicity of honesty, you will find love that connects all. You love reality, and therefore you can experience the value in that sobered state. That recognition is a sobering that is heard by the sensitive listener and means an intense enrichment of mission. The more precise you accept what is, the more the gold will emerge. Are you disappointed about your twin flame union developments? Do you feel sad about that they don't talk to you anymore, but they once did? Or do you feel distraught that everyone is talking about twin flames, but you haven't met them yet? Do you feel left out? Or do you feel deeply disgusted by the fact that they have someone else and they just rejected you for this stupid other person? What is so nice about them? I don't know. Gosh, am I going to wait endlessly for them? I'm so disappointed. Like, I thought that like divine romance was promised me, but it just looks more like I'm just endlessly waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting some more and waiting some more and just I'm just watching all these card reading videos about romantic stories online on YouTube and on TikTok, and to just get through the days, but nothing seems to happen, and I'm so disappointed. Is that what you say to yourself? Do you not believe anymore that you are meant to be together? Because maybe twin flames are, after all, not meant to be together. It's just something that awakens your heart, right? And that's enough. It'll start your healing, but nothing more is ever going to happen. And it's sad that so many people need like 5, 10, 15 years before they they reach that conclusion. But gosh. And in that sense, the twin flame scene online, it seems to be like such a scam, Yeah, that as well. What a disappointment. Or is it differently? Oh, or or do you really wake up? Yeah, are you really waking up for a new level after you've been disappointed, after you've waited so long, after you fell for all the twin flame scams that are around, after you felt all the depression of all these situations and exactly what it is in your case, after you watched all the TikTok videos and all the twin flame card readings about the divine masculine and divine feminine, about when the divine masculine is finally going to wake up, because maybe it's at the next eclipse, right? Maybe it's just at the next, year after that, or like with the Blu-ray wave that comes a couple weeks after that one, or when. But maybe you're just waking up from that one, from the disappointment about that one. And then when you wake up out of your disappointment, your initial, correct, in a sense, disappointment, you start to wake up from that one. Are you waking up from that one? Are you ready to wake up from the twin flame scam, from the twin flame readings, from the twin flame TikToks? Are you ready to wake up from that one? From the twin flame disappointment? Maybe you're then finally ready to hear that it is already true. You are already in union with your true twin flame. That's your nature. There's nothing else than the truth. In truth. The only point is that you're just very human. So a little bit of purification will bring you there, also in the flesh. Because it is already true. And maybe you're just ready to wake up to the fact that you can do something about that. You're finally ready to wake up to the true empowerment of the heart that is not being eternally lost in videos and TikToks and stories about the divine masculine and divine feminine and how they're running after each other or chasing each other or running away from each other or whatever the story is today, you're finally ready to say no to that. And you're ready to say, oh, listen, I can just be at the helm of my own purification effort, so that which is already true can shine through in my hologram experience of my lived reality in the body, in the world. And I am calling upon the name of the divine, in which the name of my twin flame is included, to give that space instead of all the other options and all the back doors towards I can go out in that story, or can go back to the disappointment, or I can go back to complaining, or I can disappear into allowing myself to date once more someone else, because twin flames, after all, might not be meant to be together. So I can just do what he does too, and I will also get someone else. It doesn't matter, because everything's okay and we're all okay. Well, you will not hear me say that you're not okay. Whatever you do. But the real awakening really comes after you've had that phase of, maybe we're not meant to be together. Maybe twin flames are not meant to be together after all, because it's so difficult. Oh, I'm just in the drama. I'm just in like the second half of what ego personalities do with romantic dreams. Because first they love them up. And it's so beautiful. And then they get disappointed. Oh, it's so depressing. I can't live with it anymore. And then we just go over to the next love bombing phase of the ego personality in the form. Yes, this is so beautiful. Oh, maybe we're after all not meant to be together, and you're just in the depressing phase again. And we just go back. So maybe you're just in the second phase of that curve, like, oh, I don't believe in it anymore. Up from that whole curve or that whole circle that is like sort of a drama, an ego personality drama that we play in the world as body, emotion, mentality, psychological people that are not permeated yet by divine love and light, where you are already a twin flame. So that's just like the circle that keeps on circling. When you're not waking up to the true invitation of what twin flames are. So, and my invitation is to really wake up. To wake up from the wake up. To wake up from the from the place where you say to yourself, maybe I need to wake up. Become logic again, social again. Yeah, that's better. And you just, that's okay. You've done this entire round, this entire circle. Well, congratulations. Good. Good. Fine. Nice. Well done. Now we're going to wake up from that whole circle. It's just, just waking up from the circle of life. Isn't that like the circle of life? Isn't that from the Lion King movie? Gosh, now I'm in the Lion King song, the sing song, the circle of life. Okay. That's a drama too, right? Or just, I mean, really, maybe it's really a twin flame drama in a sense too. There's this love life that is waking up in the lion and the lioness and whatnot. And when they meet the shadow and the shadowland of the lions, and who becomes the new king? Who gets into union or something? Which is like you're sort of crowned by the divine, with your true twin flame together. You are king and queen of your own union kingdom. That's what twin flames are. So the circle of life, the song, the Lion King movie is maybe not so strange to see as a twin flame movie, or it has some elements that at least give me now a reason to say these ideas about the archetype of what twin flames are, which is, I think, did give some insight. So that's okay. So you're going to wake up from the circle of life when you're just sort of trapped in the physical, mental, emotional realm, and then you're going to let in a new quality inside of that, and you're going to wake up inside of that. And that's what's meant with the word ascension. So here's the circle of life, and then the ascension light comes right through it. And that's when you get like the crown on your head with your twin flame. That's the real quest of life. Not to go in like, ooh, depressed, circle. No, it's like how the light of the divine comes right through all that, and you wake up out of that, and that's the ascension. That's how that's called. And that gives you the crown. In your union with the divine and the twin flame at the same time, that's your crown. So that's actually the twin flame journey. If you are someone that wants to make it to success, then that's what you do. Practically, that will just give you the romance that you're looking for, that your heart truly longs for, not the one that your ego has organized for you, but the one that your heart truly longs for. Yeah, not meant to be together, giving your union disappointment meaning. So here's the truth about that thing. I think that very many people say that twin flames are not meant to be together because they're stuck in the phase of the disappointment of the ego. But the ego is meant to be disappointed because something else is meant to happen, and that's letting the divine light in. And that is going to make your twin flame union to the crowning moment of success, and in practice, the romance that your heart is longing for. So they're just stuck into the second phase of that endless circle, and then they say, well, maybe they're not meant to be together. You know what? Maybe twin flames are actually a scam too. And they just give meaning to their own sense of being stuck. And that never leads to anything. So I just wanted to address that with this video. And I hope that helps. I choose now to explore the most complete depths of my being. I surrender my mind completely to God, that He may bring it into perfect harmony with His. I invite God now into my very core, that He may make it right, returning it perfectly to its state of eternal wholeness. I trust in the power of divine love. I choose to see the truth that it is universally accepted by all. At the core of every child of God, including me, we're all one with our twin flames and God. It is safe for me to open completely to love now. My love is not elusive unless you command it so. But don't worry. You could not choose against love itself because you are love itself, manifest as you eternally. If you command it to leave, love does not leave because it cannot possibly leave, but you leave love by the power of your command, and by that same power you can command yourself to return to love. And it is so revealing to you that love never left. It is safe to let go. It is safe to relax into love's eternal presence. Love is calling you home, and I'll be there waiting. I have always been here with you, and I always will be. Your next step. Don't forget to actually start the process and jump on the team. Actively come to our community, start doing the correct inner work, and ask support. And you deserve that through our services so that we can start a relationship that will lead to your harmonious union and beyond. When you're not in a relationship, you're not on the team and you can't expect the results I'm speaking of and in fact guaranteeing. Currently, you're currently invited into the group year course experience. This is the Twin Flame Mystery School you have been waiting for. I am looking for 9 people to step into this abundant opportunity. Twin Flame Abundance now has opened its doors. Start giving so that you can receive. The door closes as soon as I have my 9 people that will be successful in their journey. Look at the Twin Flame Year Group Course of Your Dreams on creativeuniverse.earth/abundance now, or go to the description of the video below or to the pinned comment and click it there. And claim your conversation with me about your joining on Sunday, July 27th. In this link, tinyurl.com/TFAN conversation, or go to the link below. The show notes. You can, however, support this ongoing live Twin Flame news as such, make it possible as co-creator. Without your participation and financial gifts, I cannot do anything because we need to have an energetic and verbal visual exchange for things to make sense and to know what I need to talk about for you. And also, we're on Earth, and that necessarily always works with money as a means to make sacred content actually physically flow. Therefore, I post the show notes in Patreon. Come over and enjoy. Have influence on the broadcasts. Don't miss out on the behind-the-scenes experience on patreon.com/BEJ at Creative Universe, or click the link below. This month's Patreon subscriber action is outside of the year group course Twin Flame Abundance Now. You could also opt for an individual VIP session when you don't want to enter the group yet and want a large heap of assistance. This 2-hour session that also includes being sent workbooks and aftercare is normally available for €398 ex-VAT and for group members €197 ex-VAT. But within the second tier Patreon in July 2025, everyone can come for the half-price option. Info about how these kinds of sessions normally go will be found at creativeuniverse.earth/yourabundance, or the link below. Or, of course, also the link in Patreon, where the show notes always are. If you like this video, please share it, like it, subscribe to my channel. It does help. I am Petra, in the consciousness state of Harmonious Twin Flame Union since March 2020. Worked with the new Christ Masters on Earth right now to roll this consciousness state out to everyone, so everyone can enjoy the abundant life with their true twin flames soon enough after going in with me right here. Don't search any further. You reached what you were looking for. Om. Amen.